Hi, Jamie. Welcome to our podcast. On this episode, we want to talk about a big opportunity that we think people are missing out. Something that can be done easily by a lot of people. But just because we're not executing, we are missing out on something very big, especially for B2B businesses. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, we called this digital prospector, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the situation, the opportunity, and the challenge and the resolution. And then I'll kind of go into why we created it, backstory, and process. So here's the situation. I'm an industry expert. I have 21,000 LinkedIn connections. So I know in my heart of hearts, the best opportunities lie within all the people I've met at conferences, past customers, current customers, relationships that I've built over the years since LinkedIn became an incepted product. So that's the situation. I know I'm an industry expert and my voice opening doors will open doors. Different than if I asked a business development representative to prospect and build their own list of accounts, or a new account executive that I just hired. They just don't have the same clout. So that's the situation. Here's the challenge. The challenge is I'm a founder. I'm a CEO. I'm straddled with a million tasks. And what happens is in my brain, I know I should be prospecting every morning from 8 to 9 in the morning. But my heart and whatever other saddled bags of things I need to do, I push it down the priority queue. And I'll make excuses every single day. Oh, no. This is the fire I need to fight today. And then tomorrow will come. Don't worry, I'm going to do it by Friday. And then the next fire and the next fire. And you wake up and it's been months since you prospected. So you then look at your sales pipeline coverage. You look at your revenue and you say, like, how could this be? Well, it's because the leading indicator is you needed to prospect. So the challenge is you didn't have the time, but the opportunity is you know that if you were prospecting, you would open doors. It's just a fact because you're an industry expert. So here's the resolution. The resolution is we created Digital Prospector. We, at my companies, Sales for Life and at Pipeline Signals, and now at Get Levrg, have been utilizing offshore talent to become me. So we've A/B tested this both. I've had it where sellers prospect as themselves, and that's great for scaled organizations. But when you're a professional services company, when you're subscale, you know that it's called founder-led sales, meaning the founder is the one that produces all the opportunity. Being me, opening doors matters. So the resolution, offshore talent, logs in as me, becomes me, executes my playbook that I design. Here's who I want to prospect. Here's my messaging. Here's my cadence and sequence. Hit the market. And all that I do is I sit back in my Calendly every day or every couple of days, meeting. It's because I'm starting conversations or re-energizing conversations with my own social network. So that's the overview. Nazmul, any questions? And then I can kind of go into the genesis of it.
Yeah, can you talk about a little bit about like how big of a problem is this? And when I say big of a problem, like what kind of opportunities are people missing out? Can we talk about some numbers? Like,
Yes.
what if somebody did this? What would have happened?
So the problem, there are something like 1.4 million professional services companies in the United States alone, under 100 employees. Being part of Collective 54, I remember this statistic. So you have hundreds of thousands of founder-led sales motions inside IT services, tech-enabled services, pro serves, software companies, where the founder's still doing the selling. And so that's the opportunity at a macro level. At your level, the listener, here's the opportunity. Every single day, you can have 50 conversations. I'm not talking just about LinkedIn connection requests. I'm talking about actual contacts of yours, first degree connections. Now, of course, you can go after your second degree and your third degree, looking after net new opportunity. But if you're in my situation, 21,000 first degree connections, inside my first degree is a mountain of opportunity, a lot of meat on the bone. So I can have 50 conversations every single day, 5 days a week. That's 250 conversations. If, as an example, 1 out of every 10 connections of mine who know me, who I've nurtured through content over the years, you're talking about 25 people might respond, hey, this is cool. I'll look at it later. Hey, I'm not interested. Hey, let's talk about this a little bit further. Typically, and now I'm running campaigns in plural inside my LinkedIn network, some for my company Pipeline Signals, some for my company Get Levrg. Every single day, an opportunity is arising from one of those businesses. And so think about it, 50 conversations compounding 250 over the course of a month. That's, what is that, 2,500 or close to 3,000 in an annual year. You're unlocking dozens or hundreds of opportunities every year that you know you wouldn't be able to have your non-founder sellers do. And it's just sitting right in front of you. The problem you had was time, and we're just buying back that time.
I really don't think people understand what kind of opportunity people are missing out. 3,000. That's 3,000. That's a lot, right? Can you tell me this? I know that you mentioned it a little bit, but why do founders want to prospect, but they end up not prospecting? What happens?
Well, like anything in your business, you know it's a top priority. Like, a company doesn't exist unless customers come in and you serve them in a great way and they stay. So you know, in the first, up until you're $5 to $10 million in revenue, you are almost for certain either a founder-led sales motion or you're transitioning from founder-led to sales-led. But you as the founder are still probably like the sales engineer, the subject matter expert. So if you're in that situation, you as a founder know this company cannot grow unless you are front and center opening doors. But you also know that the act of prospecting, you either don't like it, can't do it, afraid to do it, you make up excuses as to why you don't have the time to do it. Like, there's a myriad of reasons why you look at this as a $5 an hour task, yet you know the outcome is a $500 an hour value creator. You know that when you book a meeting, it's worth a lot of money to you, right? You might have a lifetime value of a customer in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So a single meeting is worth a tremendous amount of money to you, but you're not willing to go through the pain to make it happen. Well, you don't have to actually go through the pain. All you have to do is guide somebody. Here's my network. Here's what we should say. Go. And you just have meetings come to you.
Yeah. So let's say somebody's interested. Somebody listens to this podcast or reads something on our website and say, "Hey, I'm interested. Tell me a few things that I want to hear," and I'll be like, "Here's my money. Let's start."
So mathematically, it's pretty simple. It's $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month, and we have a business development representative offshore connect with you, the industry expert. Every single day, they're prospecting as you, booking you meetings. Now, for most complex sales, your cost of customer acquisition is over six figures, is over four figures. Meaning that you most likely pay more than $1,000 to acquire a singular customer. So if this business development representative can book you and secure you over a period of time, you win one customer from this. You've already paid for the entire process, but they're prospecting 50 people every single day. So if you have a great story to tell, this from a cost of customer acquisition, because you're now removing yourself from the cost of customer acquisition, it's just this one person doing this through your LinkedIn save you a ton of money on your cost of customer acquisition, but the return on investment is huge.
Yeah. And if the founders are wondering, so tell me a little bit more about how much time do I have to invest in it? Do we talk every week? Do we talk every month? What amount of time do I have to invest? What do we say
Great
to
question.
that?
Founder gives access to somebody to be able to log in via VPN to their LinkedIn. So that is minutes every day. You just open up a link, allow them access to your LinkedIn. Now, first, I'm a big believer in iterative A/B testing. If you are not an avid prospecting motion, outbound prospecting motion, you might not have refined your story yet from a campaign standpoint. So every week or so, we should be looking at, because the things you can control are the stories that you tell people, the mediums of communication. And in this instance, the medium is going to be LinkedIn. But inside that medium, are you using the written word? Are you using voice? Are you using video? And then you can control the cadence and the sequence, the order of operations in which you tell stories. We'll want to play with those levers. Every company is different. Some products and services are easier to tell stories than others, but the goal is to find a couple campaigns that resonate and engage your community with them.
Okay. And do I get to do it just for myself? How does it work? Can I add my other co-founders if I want to?
Sure. For every person we add to the network, as mentioned from a price standpoint, it's $1,000. But that resource can work or resources can work on anyone within your organization. If I'm in your situation, you work downward from subject matter experts, industry experts, downward. The purpose here is you're hyper accelerating your what's called SMEs, your subject matter experts. Usually that's the CEO, maybe it's the co-founder CTO, it's the partners of the firm. Focus on them first, because it's you that have all the industry expertise and the clout.
Okay. And what kind of risk are we talking about in terms of, for example, financial risk? Like how long will it take for a founder to see if it's working or if it's not working? How long it might take?
Typically, in any prospecting motion, let's assume you do not have an asymmetrically long sales cycle. Let's say your sales cycle is 90 to 180 days, 270 days, like a natural complex sale. Within 90 days, you'll have already opened up a bunch of doors. And if you haven't opened up doors, then we just can't seem to have found a great story to tell or your connections. And so here are some of where the things you'll want to evaluate. Again, what do you control? Stories. You really haven't found a great way to tell your story outbound. You may have had a great inbound motion where people found you on the web. You're going to have to learn to tell that story outbound. Number two is going to be looking at the connections, the network. If your network was built by somebody long ago who just went around the world and did a bunch of LinkedIn connection requests, and you haven't been sharing any content on LinkedIn for years, you don't have a strong, robust network to nurture. So again, this is why we want to focus on industry experts, those that have really been serving that community. Those are where the two fail places you're going to want to look first.
So how does it work? Somebody says, hey, I'm interested. I want to start working with you. What should be the next step? And how long does it take for Get Levrg to start working on a project like this?
Contact us here at Get Levrg. Within 2 weeks, we can have you connected with the industry expert. We'll have synced up via VPN and have begun campaigning. So you are in market in 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty much it. These are the questions that I could think even as a founder. But
well, I hope that has helped. Listen, I've owned 3 companies. I've been bounced in and out of founder-led sales and sales-led growth. And I can tell you that as a founder, I knew, even when we were sales-led growth at Sales for Life, I knew I opened up doors faster than my sellers. But I also knew I had 17 things to do today. And all 17 were a priority. I'm using air quotes. And so I would then make an excuse. Well, I do pay people to do business development here. I do pay people to sell. I'll just let them do that and I'll focus on the other things. But in my heart of hearts, I would go home and I would go to bed knowing, really, I'm probably the best at this. I just wish I had more time to do it.
Yeah. One thing I really want to emphasize is I think this is one of those things you just need to keep doing it for a year and you will hands down see great result. Like this is not one of those things where, oh, I launched something or we launched something, it's a big event, we do it for a week and it becomes something big, probably or probably not. This is not one of those things. This is one of those things where we do it every single day for a few hours every single day, and in the end it brings great results. It's like how workout works, right? There's no way it will work out if I just try to give 3000 push-up a day. It's not going to work out. But if I give 100 push-ups a day, that's it, not more than 100 or even 50. But if I keep doing it every day for a year, things will be very different from me.
Well, and you myself and Kyla on our team is my digital prospector. We were looking at the numbers. We've now been doing it inside Get Levrg for 6 months. I mean, the company's only 6 months old.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal how many opportunities we have created in an outbound sales motion, tapping my social network, which had primarily been focused on chief revenue officers and chief marketing officers. But I had thousands of dormant founders who I had met over the years inside my network that we are now tapping.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. So if you're watching this on YouTube or any other social media, if you're interested, just have a conversation with us. And I really think this will help you. Get in touch with us through getlevrg.com or just book a meeting with us directly from our calendar page. Jamie, anything else that you want to add with this?
No, this is great. And looking forward to talking more with anybody about Digital Prospector.
Thank you so much. Until next time, see ya.